do I need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlin Clark?
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer.
Stephen A. Smith just set the sports world on fire with his latest hot take. He is comparing Caitlin Clark to none other than NBA legend Steph Curry. He's not just saying she's good, he's straight up declaring that she's got the kind of game that could light up an NBA scoreboard.
I think I'll just be the female version of Steph Curry.
I mean, you hear people talking about you and throwing out those comparisons. Speak about how that makes you feel, about how you've just taken the world by storm because of your shooting prowess.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm still kind of in a dream, in a real world. I mean, it's kind of crazy, obviously. Those are the players I kind of grew up watching. Obviously, Steph Curry's kind of changed the game, and he's a player I grew up loving. I still love. I watch him all the time. So it's kind of crazy seeing all those NBA players, WNBA players tweet about you, talk about you. But, you know, I still enjoy every single second of it for sure.
He put the spotlight on impressive shooting and unreal ball handling skills, saying, "I haven't seen any woman in college basketball shoot like Caitlin Clark." Stephen A. Smith is not the only one who acknowledges Clark's skills. Paul Pierce couldn't agree more. He straight up called her NCAA performance the best he's ever seen. No matter the gender, it shows the massive impact she's had on women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark is changing the game, and everyone is taking notice.
We saw a white girl in Iowa do it to a bunch of black girls.
Well, of course.
That made it like, oh, that gained my respect. That gained my respect.
I hear you. You're
like,
right.
that's like, oh, she didn't do this to some other little white girls that was over here in Colorado, wherever. She did it to some girls from LSU, who we thought was some dogs.
Defending champs.
And put them on their knee and spanked them.
Spanked them.
And so I know, but I didn't expect that.
As Caitlin Clark continues to shatter records and redefine the game, Shaquille O'Neal took it to the next level, naming her the greatest female collegiate player of all time. Yes, you heard that right. Shaq, one of the most dominant forces in NBA history, sparked a heated debate by putting Caitlin Clark at the very top.
Congratulations to her and her family.
Yeah.
Like the crazy thing is I'm just seeing her last year when they played LSU, but she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Ever?
Well,
I don't know about you. You ever heard of Cheryl Miller,
Ever.
Maya Moore?
I said what I said. Ever.
Diana Taurasi?
I said what I said.
No disrespect.
Listen,
Caitlin Clark is amazing.
This is my opinion.
Candace
I'm not
Walker.
changing it. I said what I said.
Nobody's ever shot it like her. No, she's like Steph Curry.
What I said.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Now, when someone of O'Neal's legendary stature speaks, the world listens, and Clark's jaw-dropping achievements make his claim hard to argue with. She's not just played in the Big Ten, she's absolutely owned it, leading in both scoring and assists for 4 straight seasons. Just recently, she etched her name in the history books as the NCAA Division I all-time leading scorer, surpassing Kelsey Plum's record with an ice-cold long-range three-pointer against Michigan, even when Shaq's co-hosts Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith tried to bring up other legends like Maya Moore and Diana Taurasi. Shaq stood his ground, declaring that I said what I said.
Listen, I ain't disrespecting nobody, it's just my opinion, and I ain't gonna change it. How about
You
that?
gotta change it. The stuff you don't know about basketball can fill up an encyclopedia.
Well, I know 4
sorry,
times I know
kids, y'all
about
don't
it.
even know what an encyclopedia you couldn't read.
About what other people say, he knows that this girl is making some crazy shots, and many of them don't even seem to move the net. Kevin Garnett doesn't praise players easily, but he just couldn't hold back when talking about Caitlin Clark on his podcast Ticket. And the truth, he highlighted her incredible fitness and shooting skills, saying she could easily score much more than 10 points in an NBA game. Garnett's remark about Clark scoring more than 10 points in a men's NBA game is a huge nod to the growing recognition of women's basketball and Clark's pivotal role in it is.
Is this the first time we got women's basketball ahead of men's basketball? If they ever let a female in the game, they ain't in shape. If you ain't in the Steph Curry shape, that's how she plays, bro.
Right.
You watch how Steph
give you
goes.
10 points in the NBA game.
Nah, She gonna give you more than 10. She can shoot, and she got work, bro. She, you know,
it's still
what?
Athleticism from the men is
Yeah,
overwhelming.
It ain't tough no more. You can't hand check, and if you let her wiggle, you feel me?
Yeah.
Man, she can, right.
Steph Curry himself called her a performer and a complete package.
You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot it's like that, it's at that level. But if you really watch, like, her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package. And her to be on the fringe of breaking that record, and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into, there's a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
LeBron James doesn't hold back when he talks about Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA. He's all in saying good things are going to happen. And when LeBron speaks, the sports world listens. LeBron sees the potential and the game-changing influence Caitlin Clark brings to the court. Her electrifying performances and record-breaking feats have everyone buzzing, and LeBron's confidence in her future success only amplifies the hype.
And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
Despite the overwhelming support from NBA stars for Caitlin Clark, there are still some trying to undermine her and hinder the growth of the WNBA. The recent decision to leave Caitlin off the USA Women's Olympic basketball team could be proof of this, and people are starting to take notice.
If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
And this is her after being called out for being a bully and racist.
I'm gonna say this, and then I wanna be done with this whole conversation. So for people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, first of all, black people can't be racist, but that's the farthest thing from my mind. I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white. My best childhood friend is white.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you 100% right. Y'all girls, stop being petty. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark has earned some of the highest recognition a college player can achieve in her jaw-dropping performances. Continue to capture attention, making her a pivotal figure in the future of women's basketball. She became the first Fever player to ever record a triple-double in franchise history. Comparisons to NBA legends like Steph Curry not only elevate her status but also inspire the next generation of players. Paul Pierce has been particularly vocal about Clark's incredible skills, especially after her standout performance in Iowa's win over LSU, where she scored an astonishing 41 points Pierce didn't hold back, calling it the greatest performance I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament, regardless of gender.
Here's the reality. Tommy's right. It's not just race, though. It's also sexuality. Caitlin Clark is a white heterosexual woman in a black lesbian league, and they resent and are jealous of all of the attention and the shoe deal that she got.
His comments have sparked significant media attention, partly due to his candid remarks about race. Pierce highlighted the contrast by saying, "We saw a white girl from Iowa dominate a team of black players from LSU who were defending champs. While his intent was to emphasize Clark's dominance, his choice of words has ignited a debate about race in sports commentary.
I think she's in the Mount Rushmore, obviously. I don't, Cheryl Miller, and I don't know all their numbers to know who
Yeah, it's a
that
bunch
should
of them,
be,
man. You
right?
got Candace
that's hard
Parker,
to do.
and Cheryl Miller,
right,
and Cheryl Swoops. I mean, people be like, nah.
Generationally?
Yeah, she ridiculous.
She might be Allen Iverson in her era. She changed the game.
Well, she changed the game.
Right, she changed the game from a culture of Steph Curry, yeah.
Iverson emphasized her knack for not only scoring but also setting up her teammates for success. Considering Iverson's own legendary status for scoring and court vision, his admiration highlights Clark's immense potential to uplift women's basketball. His acknowledgement adds to the growing respect and excitement surrounding women's basketball at the highest levels.
Just go down the street and you're seeing 22 shirts everywhere.
The number that belongs to the one and only Caitlin Clark.
I'm really happy I got to see her today. Yeah, it was like a dream come true.
Her star power was on full display against the New York Liberty when Clark made history, not only for herself as a rookie, but for her team when she hit a triple-double, electrifying the crowd.
It's historic. It was pretty awesome. We're big Iowa fans, so we've been watching her for years, and it was great to see her live.
It was pretty surreal because we were watching TV, I think the game before, and she got really close to it. I think she was like a couple of rebounds away, and I didn't think that I would actually be at the first one, but here we are.
It felt really exciting that my favorite basketball player made her first triple-double.
We've been following her since like last season with Iowa, but seeing her do what she did on the court today.
The Indiana Fever, led by coach Christie Sides, has about 15 to 16 games left in the WNBA season, which resumes on August 15th. They're determined to maintain their strong performance from before the Olympic break as they're in the playoff race for the first time in years. Rookie sensation Caitlin Clark has been pivotal to their success and is a top contender for Rookie of the Year. Coach Sides even compares her to WNBA legend Diana Taurasi for her drive and improvement. Clark leads all rookies in points and assists, making her a standout player to watch. It is noteworthy that tensions are running high between Caitlin Clark and coach Christie Sides, especially after Clark blatantly disregarded Sides' instructions. During a recent clash with the Chicago Sky, fans and analysts were quick to pounce, pointing fingers at Clark. But could it be that the team's issues go beyond just one player? Clark herself admitted, "It's been a whirlwind. There hasn't been much time to reflect on my journey from college to the WNBA. It's all happening so fast, but maybe that's the best way to learn. Just get thrown into the fire." Despite the noise, Clark is shining on the court, dropping a massive 30 points against the Mystics and emerging as a top contender for both MVP and Rookie of the Year. But let's talk about the Indiana Fever as a whole. Despite boasting 3 All-Stars, they've been underwhelming, putting immense pressure on both Coach Sides and Clark as they scramble for a playoff spot. Then there's that recent pre-practice scavenger hunt video the Fever posted. Fans and basketball critics weren't impressed, to say the least. Is this what a professional team should be doing? Critics argue that while these team-building activities might be cute for kids, they don't belong in a serious professional setting. According to critics, they should forget the scavenger hunts and focus on some real training, like breaking down game film and working on those fundamental skills that have clearly been lacking. And here's where it gets real. Coach Christie Sides is under the microscope. Her questionable decisions like bizarre lineups and rotations, benching star players like Aaliyah Boston for too long, or mismatching players on defense have left fans scratching their heads. Take that close loss to the Seattle Storm for instance. Why was Wheeler defending? Jewel fans are asking, why are they playing carnival games instead of focusing on what really matters? With the Fever's performance slipping since the Olympic break, it's no wonder there's concern they could tank the season. Is professional sports starting to look like preschool? Fans are fed up, and the criticism isn't just hot air. We're talking about expectations of professionalism that legends like John Wooden, Phil Jackson, and Gino Aura lived and breathed. But here we are debating if Coach Sides is the right fit for a professional team. The criticisms are valid, and it's not just about nitpicking. There are serious flaws that need addressing. Scavenger hunts aren't cutting it on the court. In my opinion, this approach is just not up to par for the pros. If I were in the general manager or owner's shoes, I'd be seriously reconsidering Sid's position. From now, this team isn't just playing for wins, they're also playing to secure her job. And with the playoff stretch looming, the pressure is on like never before. If we are to talk about Caitlin Clark, her impact is undeniable, and it's not just about the stats. Clark is a magnet for fans, pulling in viewers and filling arenas like no one else in years. Her electrifying style of play has sparked a buzz that the WNBA hasn't felt. In a long time, she's not just drawing crowds, she's breathing new life into women's basketball, making this season one of the most exciting in recent memory. Caitlin Clark is the name on everyone's lips, but her influence doesn't stop at the box office. Thanks to the spotlight, Clark and other stars are shining on the league. Real improvements are happening for years. WNBA players have endured grueling travel conditions, long commercial flights, tight schedules, you name it. But with the surge in viewership and revenue that Clark's brilliance is driving, things are finally starting to change. Teams are beginning to enjoy better travel arrangement, including more chartered flights. This surge in interest fueled by Clark's performances isn't just growing the WNBA's fan base, it's proving that women's basketball can be just as thrilling, competitive, and high stakes as the men's game.